When Sid Stout Ford burned.
Well, I wasn't working there when it burned, but I was on the way from Oklahoma. I was coming up here going to look for a job, and it was on the radio that Sid Stout was burning in '64. And I got some friends that was working there then. Did you know how that started and everything? George Huber was one of the mechanics, and he was working on a car, working on the gas tank, draining it. He had a drop light under there, and the drop light fell and busted in the gas on the floor. And all the mechanics, like Dennis Glass and them, they just stood around, you know, waiting for them to get it out. They was going to have it out there in a minute. They can go back to work. Well, in the meantime, they couldn't even get their tools out. All of a sudden, that place went on fire.
Guy was walking along behind the line there, and he was a mechanic. Of course, the guy was under the car, and his feet sticking out the back of the car. He's taking the gas tank down. When that thing broke, he ran over there and just grabbed his feet and drug him out on the creeper like that, kept him from getting burned. And that happened about right around 11 o'clock,
Thursday, right before lunch.
11:15, something like that. And my dad and I were walking out the back door of the bank. And we walked out the door, and I just looked down that direction, and here's all this smoke going up. Walter Hollingsworth was standing there. That was Sid Stout's father-in-law. I said, either Sid Stout's on fire or something is. We'll go check it out. So my dad and I just walked down the alley and turned the corner and went around in front of the building there on the west side of the street. And here came the first fire truck. They pulled a snorkel truck up out there in front of it. And about that time, that Ford sign, the heat coming out of that building, it just went whoosh. That thing just ignited, and the whole thing just burned off at once. Well, they hooked up that snorkel truck, and they pulled that thing up right in front of that door. They started shooting water in there, up towards the roof. And by then, all those fumes and oil and stuff had collected up on that.
One of them old round top buildings, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
one of them.
Wood beams and everything.
And caught it on fire. So then they pulled it back out, got there and started running the water down on it. Well, we watched it for about an hour, and we went on home to eat lunch. Came back after lunch. It was still burning. I guess that thing burned until about 3 o'clock. They finally got the fire out on the south end down there. And it's kind of interesting. Down there at 2nd and Polk is where the showroom was. And there's 2 Mustangs sitting in there on the showroom floor. And people standing out there talking, what are they going to say, those Mustangs? They was worried about those 2 Mustangs, you know, because there's a hot item then. And they stopped the fire before it got in the showroom and over there in the offices and stuff, I guess. But the rest of it was fried. And
You know, talking about the buildings, old rounded old shops. When I was down in here, the John Deere place caught on fire one day. And instantly, you know, because the old beads up in there and get oil soaked over over 50 or 60 years they've been there. And that place, all of a sudden, it was the same way. They didn't even have time to get their books out of the office.
that's right.
You know, the secretaries and stuff. It just instantly, that whole place was on fire.
2nd and Tyler, 2nd and Polk was Battenfield Motors.
Tyler's on over,
Yeah, second
and Taylor.
and Taylor.
Tyler's over the other
Yeah.
side of Poe.
Second and Taylor. Faced the north and the west. There were a lot of stories going on while that building was burning. People standing down there talking about it.
You know how much Sid paid all the mechanics for their tools? $100. He gave each mechanic $100.
How much would they have been worth?
Oh, hell.
Thousands. But Dennis, he was front end man, and his toolbox was down in the pit, and most of the drawers is open and everything, and they shooting that water in there, filled it full of water. So it didn't hurt it didn't hurt a lot of his stuff. You know, he was right by the front door. I mean, where they could have.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, that thing just went from just being a little fire they thought they were going to put out to the whole place is on fire.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't even get their tools out. But them old buildings.
You remember that an outfit in there, I guess after they had the fire, down there on the south end, there's an outfit in there with a paint shop.
Yeah, Shibes or whatever it was.
Yeah. That thing caught on fire and burned up the second time.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story about that. One of the painters used to work for me at the body shop when I was running Sid Stout, and he was an alcoholic. And he was working there, and he opened the door, went out to go to his car and get a drink, just as it blowed up. If he'd have been in there, it'd probably killed him. But at one time, I guess drinking was a blessing. Al Jones was his name. But he just opened the door and went out and go to his car and get him a drink of that vodka. Just he went out the door and blowed up. I never did know what happened to them. I mean, what caused that? Were they out of gas leaks or what? But they had enough paint fumes to do that, you know. And it blew the building down. I mean, it just.
Yeah, it just demolished the thing.
It didn't have just a little explosion. It blew the building plumb down. That's either Earl Scheib or, you know, there's two of them deals. I think one is Earl Scheib and one is something else. They paint a car for $49.99 or something. Like
I remember those TV
Sometimes they
commercials.
washed them, sometimes they didn't before they painted them.
So they didn't have a very good reputation at the time.
Oh, no.
Oh, it wasn't good at all.